So Mitch McConnell, Donald Trump, the Republican Party, they are furious and terrified that corporate America dared to speak out against voting law changes in places like Georgia. That now corporations like Coca-Cola, Major League Baseball, some airlines, other big companies are saying, we do not support, we condemn Republican efforts to make it harder for black people and other minorities to vote, and we're going to voice that opinion out loud. And Mitch McConnell has had enough of this. He said, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell on Monday warned corporations of serious consequences if they use their economic power in support of what he described as far-left causes, including opposition to a new voting law in Georgia. From election law to environmentalism to radical social agendas to the Second Amendment, parts of the private sector keep dabbling and behaving like a woke parallel government. Corporations will invite serious consequences if they become a vehicle for far-left mobs to hijack our country from outside the constitutional order. And look, this is just the height of hypocrisy. This is just the height of delicious, scrumptious irony when talking about Mitch McConnell hating corporate power. He is the most corporate establishment Republican there can be, there is. He is corporate-loving establishment Republican. But because the corporations in this rare instance are going against him, the corporations have gone too far. Let's be clear here. I'm a socialist. I'm a democratic socialist. I think that in the United States and all over the world, private enterprise has far too much power. It needs to be subject to worker control and democratic control and public ownership far more than it currently is. We need to have less corporations and more public ownership and ownership by workers and ownership by the public. But Republicans don't believe in any of that. Republicans believe in unchecked corporate power, in unchecked power of the capitalist class as a good, as a social virtue. Societies are good when corporations don't have any taxes or regulations or labor protections or unions to sort of hold them back, and so that they can be greedy and selfish and cruel, and that greed and selfishness and cruelty will lead to profits, which Republicans assert will be trickled down to everybody. And so Mitch McConnell and other Republicans like him love when corporations have the freedom to exploit people, workers, consumers, environments, whatever. They love it until it hits them. They want corporations to have all this power. They want corporations to be able to give unlimited money in politics, and billionaires unlimited money in politics. And yet, when those corporations, on a rare instance, speak out against their anti-democratic efforts, the corporations have become far left and gone too far. But here's the thing, Mitch. It is not far left to want everyone who is eligible to vote be able to vote. That's as centrist as a position as there can be, or at least it should be centrist. If the Republican Party didn't hate democracy, it should be a non-ideological issue to ensure that everyone who wants to vote gets to vote. It's only ideological because you made it ideological, because you and Ted Cruz and Donald Trump and all the rest know that if black people and young people and poor people and the other minorities all get to vote, you're going to lose 9 out of every 10 national elections. You'll never win if it's fair. You'll never win if it's fair, especially if things like the broken electoral college and gerrymandering get addressed. You'll never win. So you'll have a choice. You can either change your ideology, and you don't want to do that, or you can disenfranchise black people and other populations that don't typically vote Republican. And even the big business class, even they who love your tax cuts and they love your deregulation, you've gone too far even for them. That doesn't make them far left. It makes you extreme right. It makes you extreme right. And these corporations are saying, even for us, we know that if we have a Republican government, they're gonna screw workers, which bolsters our bottom line. But not at even voting rights. We can't support you on that. Can't support you on that. So Mitch McConnell, who loves when corporations trash unions, loves when corporations defend the, fossil fuel industry, loves when corporations oppose Medicare for all, loves when corporations support neoliberal trade deals that screw working people, loves all of that. Now it's gone too far. Don't listen to this. Insofar as we can have a debate about extreme corporate power, we should have that debate, but Republicans are not part of that debate because they don't really care. Because while this is happening, they're opposing Biden's corporate tax increase. They're opposing a proposed tax increase on the 1%. They're opposing tax increases on wealthy investors. They're opposing all of that. So there's actually policies being put in place to shrink corporate power. Not enough, but a little bit, and Republicans oppose it all. Republicans don't want weak corporations. They want strong corporations that only criticize their enemies. Remember that.